Primary vs. secondary data. There is a difference between primary and secondary data, which are being used for varied research purposes. These mainly differ based on the objective of the data collection. If the data collected are original and collected for the first time by a researcher or investigator, then those are the primary data. This is the main difference between primary and secondary data. This article attempts to provide a better understanding of both types of data while elaborating the difference between the two types. Primary data are collected with the objective of identifying some specific factors needed by the researcher. These data should not have been collected by another investigator previously in order to be primary data. Therefore, before collecting the primary data, it is crucial to investigate if there is any other source available with the information interested by the researcher. If OMION is interested in obtaining the primary data, the most popular method is the questionnaires. In this method, though it is true that the investigators can obtain direct information from the interested party, they need to consider the total cost of the research as well. Cost of collecting primary data includes a higher value of cost for a considerable amount of questionnaires, resources needed for the field visits, and a higher amount of the time value. Considering the cost and time factor of primary data, it is always advisable first to check if any secondary data that suits the purpose, or flexible to use after doing some modification, are available. If the data have been collected by an already available source of information such as newspapers, television commercials, or any other institute that has collected data for their purposes, then those will be secondary data to the researcher or investigator. Moreover, the sources that give the secondary data might have collected the data for the owner's specific purposes. These data may not have been tailored according to the purpose of the researcher. In fact, the secondary data have not been collected with the objective of fulfilling the interest of the researcher but of the other data owners. Therefore, it is clear that these secondary data for the researcher may be the primary data for the owner of the source of information.